Hi, I'm Patrick, and I'm a team member in Team 12B. So, we're competing in the US Open this year, and first I want to talk a little bit about how we got here. We spent the year competing in Virginia State competitions, managing to gather 2 Tournament Champions Award and the Innovate Award at States this year. And we went through a real long process of kind of redesigning and tinkering with our robot a lot. And I want my friend to come show you what we did.
So I'm Ben, and right now it's our spring break, so we've been redesigning our robot, and so I sadly don't really have, our original robot to demonstrate to you. But the reason that we won the Innovate Award was because we had some of the most creative solutions in terms of, problem solving for the game this year. And luckily we still have one piece of it. This is the turntable. What our intention was we wanted to have a launcher that could rotate on an axis, kind of like a turret, on one of those, like on like a tank or something like that.
Yeah, like a turret on a tank.
Yeah. So that was our intention, and it actually worked pretty well. Again, that was our design when we won tournament champion twice. But right now, we realized that it kind of was interfering with our accuracy. It wasn't kind of interfering. It was making our launcher inaccurate, even though we had a really powerful launcher. So that being said, the turret and the turntable design was really cool. And what we did was we had our original launcher over here on top of the turntable. And if you can imagine the launcher on this flat axis, when we powered it, it would move around like this. And we could rotate it, and then it could actually launch in any direction. And another interesting problem that we encountered with that was the wiring when it's going through the turntable and we don't want it to get caught on anything. We had to have our own little wiring contraption and covers and whatnot. And it made it look kind of like Predator from that movie, and I thought that was really funny. Not that that's that important. Anyway, so that was our original. This is as much as I can demonstrate from our original design. And now we're working on something a little bit different. It's a little bit more basic, I guess I could say. For example, our last robot actually had 12 motors. This one only has 10 motors right now. And the other 2 motors on the last one were only on the turntable, obviously. So what makes this design better, we think, is the fact that the launcher is actually on a it's actually fastened to where it's connected, so it's not going to be moving around or jostling up and down in the way that it was on the turntable, which hindered our ability to make accurate shots. So right now, what we've done so far is we've expanded the width of the intake, and that's actually like a good 4 inches wider, and that makes it a lot easier to pick up balls. We've also made the robot a lot smaller overall, so it's a lot lighter, which would be great for lifting and whatnot. And we also have a faster intake. These are geared higher, and there's less space and less sort of a maze for the balls to go through when they're traveling through in the robot. And if I can turn this on, I can demonstrate it a little bit. And so a few interesting things are also going on in this intake system right now. We have a lot of gearing stuff so that we can only keep it on 2 motors in case we want to add 2 motors in the future. We have these 2 motors reversing the speed on this side, along with this chain allowing us to power something from over here to the back. So that way we have this chain and these chains are all like on the same system. So we only need the 2 motors on the front to power all that, and it works out pretty well. And it's also relatively fast, so that works pretty well. Also, our launcher has 4 motors with integrated motor encoders, which I haven't wired in yet, but we're gonna get around to doing that. And so it has the 2 wheels. One is an Omni wheel, which we initially didn't think was gonna be super successful, but somehow we realized that at another tournament, other teams had success with it. So we made these Omni wheels. The gear ratio is 25-1, so it's really powerful and really fast. And also, this is pretty much the exact same launcher design that we had on our last robot because it's so easy to just take off. And right now there are actually only a few connections. And so it's almost like one of the things we do well is have a really easy to take apart and rebuild robot. Whenever we build, everything's really easy to sort of manage. As you can also see, that's kind of our philosophy. We want things to be able to be taken apart easily and put back together. Everything should be accessible and simple as possible. That's why our Cortex is so easy to access. Even though we don't have battery cages right now, we'll get around to those, even though this actually is working pretty well and whatnot. So without further ado, I can also let you see a little bit of the driving on the field. Patrick, do you want to?
Yeah.
I'll take the camera and you can drive it around a little bit. So yeah, our controls are, we have these two joysticks, drive it forward. This is the launcher, as you can see. And also the intake is on these two buttons like that.
Yeah. So one of the nice things about this now is that it drives a lot faster than our other design. With the turret on top, it was really, really heavy, so we had a lot of problems moving around. We'd find we'd constantly get beaten to balls by a lot of more fast kind of field object robots. Now this is what we like to do here, is pick up field objects, because we find picking up the bonus balls is a really good strategy. I mean, they're worth 10 points, you know, worth double a green ball, so being able to claim those off the field and stop the opponents from getting them is really important to us. So we find speed is one of our greatest assets, and before, with our other design, we just didn't have a lot of speed. So as you can see, moves. Intake works great. Let out balls.
Yeah. And Patrick, if you want to demonstrate a shot.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So we've actually had a problem recently, which is since we changed the angle and we also changed the, we've actually pretty much rebuilt the robot in the last 2 weeks. We need to adjust the angle of the launcher as well as adjust the angle of the back of the intake so that it actually has a better launch angle, and also so that there's less friction when it's actually shooting. Because right now, the friction is making it really hard for the robot to shoot properly.
See, just like that. So it's got plenty of power, but the angle isn't exactly the best. So, you know, fixing the angle will definitely help a lot of our problems. But,
Yeah.
of course, you know, we have a little bit of time to tinker around at that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been our motto with the season, you know, taking what we've learned from a lot of tournaments and actually applying them. I mean, we've taken a lot of lessons from what we've done well in our tournaments and what we necessarily haven't done as well. So by the time we actually come to the US Open, we want to have this, of course, completely finalized, everything ready to go, don't have to make any adjustments on the day of competition. We want to have plenty of practice time, so that's kind of where we want to be by the time of the competition.
Thanks for watching.